My name is Pastor A.J. Thompson, and welcome to TUA, the Ultimate Advocate. This is really not a talk show. It's just a short segment that is in my mind to talk to you about today as far as the Ultimate Advocates are concerned. The Ultimate Advocate, it just simply means that you are your own greatest advocate. Today, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Black Lives Matter. I've received several invites to Black Lives Matter and protest events and so on. And I haven't had a lot of interest for the reason that instead of protesting down at the Justice Center, we need to let other people know, the main people who need to know that Black Lives Matter don't know. And of course, that's our sons and daughters, our mothers and fathers, uncles, aunts, among us. We're trying to get the folks at the Justice Center, folks in political offices, folks in other communities to understand that Black Lives Matter when we as a black folk have not understand it. They already know Black Lives Matter. I mean, why do you think people try so hard to make you feel like you don't belong or to make you feel like you don't matter? Even the KKK know that Black Lives Matter. Where people in the hood and Union and Miles and communities just like that across the United States, across Cleveland, East Cleveland, Columbus, Meridian, Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi, Chicago, New Orleans, Los Angeles, and communities just like the ones that I live in. There are the people who don't know that Black Lives Matter. The evidence of that is that you kill 4 more of each other than you talking about the police do. Nobody's ever gonna know or understand your level of Black Lives Matter until you start understanding. When you start preaching that message in your own house and in your own family and in your own community and in your own church and your own belief, then everybody else will get the message because everybody else already know that. But we don't behave like Black Lives Matter. We shoot each other down in the streets. We destroy one another's property. Neighbors don't speak to one another, not like Black Lives Matter. Even our activist groups can't work together, not like Black Lives Matter. Black churches can't work together, not like Black Lives Matter. Our children can be playing ball, having fun in the park 1 minute, and blow one another's brains out the next minute. That don't say Black Lives Matter. When you won't get up and go to work and earn a living to provide for your own family, that don't say Black Lives Matter. When fathers won't provide a roof at their own expense for their own children. When people keep having children that they can't take care of and provide for at their own expense, that doesn't say Black Lives Matter. When people talk about religions in the black community throughout churches, talk about Jesus and such, and the Bible and won't study the Bible, won't meditate to see who they really are. It's not like Black Lives Matter. That's not like Black Lives Matter at all. When we mistreat one another, that's not like Black Lives Matter at all. Envy and jealousy is not like Black Lives Matter at all. When you need to be having a job and standing on a corner somewhere, women taking care of men and the fathers of their children instead of the fathers standing up being men, that's not like Black Lives Matter. You see the free food line, it wraps around from all the way around a block, a whole block. That's not like Black Lives Matter. When you want to plant food to provide for yourself, or something that's given to us by God to do, and it's not just given, it's a commandment for those who go to church and claim they want to do the will of God. God required that we plant our food and till the soil, that we be not hungry and be not beggars, and that we don't find ourselves beholden to another or dependent upon another to do that. That's not like Black Lives Matter. Your house falling down with you in it, that ain't like Black Lives Matter. We won't help one another unless it's a tragedy. That's not like Black Lives Matter. You know, we won't even get life insurance on our children, so that's when something do happen, and something will happen unless we change. And so we got to beg for burial money to bury them with. Something that the family is supposed to do. It's become a regular thing to just beg for money to bury. That's not like Black Lives Matter. That's supposed to be an every now and then thing, that somebody need help with burial. Not a every week, every family. Not a twice a week, 3 times a week. When you're afraid to walk out your own house, that's not like Black Lives Matter. Black folk killing black folk. East Cleveland last week. It's all over the place, everywhere. At times it makes me sick to my stomach just thinking about it. And then when I hear people say Black Lives Matter, when I see people trying to prove to other people that Black Lives Matter, this ain't something that you need to prove to other people. This is something you need to convince yourself of. This is something you need to convince your family of, your offsprings of, and your siblings of, your neighbors. You need to convince the people in the community that Black Lives Matter. You need to convince your own self that Black Lives Matter. And you know what? When you get it, everybody else will have it. When you get that, when your children get that, your sons and daughters, your grandchildren get that, when you get that, then the police shootings will stop. When you stop shooting one another and killing one another, the police killings will stop. But the police killing, it can't even compete with the rate that black on black crimes are going. That the murder rate of black on black murder, police killing can't compare with that over the whole country. Can't compare with that in one community. That's not like Black Lives Matter. So if Black Lives Matter to you, if you're watching this video, I want you to prove it to yourself that Black Lives Matter. Change your way. Change the way you treat one another. Change the way you treat yourself. Create some self-respect for yourself. Pull your pants up on your butt, especially young men. Make it look like that you believe Black Lives Matter. Raise up your standard in every aspect of your life to prove that Black Lives Matter. And not to prove it to people outside of your community, but to prove it to yourself inside your own household first. Your own gang or whatever you're in, your own group, your own family, your own organization. Start there. Because going to the Justice Center and anywhere else marching, trying to prove to anybody else, the only thing you prove that it don't matter to you. Black lives do matter, but it gotta matter to you first and foremost. Black Lives Matter is more than just some words. It's a deed. It's a lifestyle. And you have to start living the lifestyle that says Black Lives Matter. Not going around making signs and, not going around trying to convince somebody else. You need to be thoroughly convinced yourself that Black Lives Matter to such a way that you live in that manner that you don't have to say a word. When somebody see you, they know that that you matter to yourself. They know that your children matter to you. They know that your neighbor's children matter to you. They don't have to ask you a thing. Just seeing you speak out. And until it get that way, you can go around all over the country preaching Black Lives Matter, but it's not going to matter. Because the people who need to know that Black Lives Matter don't know it. That's black people. As I said earlier, the KKK already know that Black Lives Matter. The crooked people who are in office, corrupt judges, corrupt politicians, corrupt police, they already know that. Corrupt teachers and preachers. And I'm not just talking about teachers and preachers of another race. There's teachers and preachers of our own race that don't want you to know who you are and don't want you to know your power. And deceive you because you deceive yourself first. I'm Pastor A.J. Thompson. This is a message from TUA. Make Black Lives Matter where it counts. At home.